Welcome, everyone. I call this meeting to order at 3:45. Adoption of the agenda.
That West Elgin Committee of Adjustment hereby adopt the agenda of May 8th, 2025 as presented.
Mover, please. Councillor Statham, seconded. Councillor Denning, all in favour? That's carried. Adoption of the minutes.
That West Elgin Committee of Adjustment hereby adopt the minutes of December 19th, 2024 Committee of Adjustment as presented.
Mover, please. Deputy Mayor Tellier, seconded. Councillor Denning, all in favour? That's carried. Disclosure of any pecuniary interest? And then seeing none, so the purpose of this meeting, please.
The purpose of this public meeting of the West Elgin Committee of Adjustment is to allow the presentation of one application for minor variance and to allow interested members of the public an opportunity to ask questions or offer comments with regards to this application. Written comments must be submitted to the Secretary Treasurer of the committee. If any members of the public would like to be notified in writing of the Committee of Adjustment's decision on a particular application, they are to provide their name and mailing address to the Secretary Treasurer at clerk@westelgin.net. This will also entitle you to be advised of possible local planning appeals tribunal hearings in the event the decision on this application is appealed. Notice was sent via regular mail on Friday, April 25th, 2025 to property owners within 60 meters or 200 feet of the subject property and to agencies requiring notice.
Okay, thank you. We go to 6, minor variance application. D-13 1-2025 West of Eld. Robert Brown, Mr. Planner, could you take it from here, please?
Certainly, Mr. Chair. This application that's coming forward is a little different. The reason why I say that is, as council is aware, the Planning Act has been in a bit of a state of flux for the last several years in attempts to open up the opportunity for different forms of housing. One of those things has been additional dwelling units. And while the West Elgin zoning bylaw does have provisions for the allowance of a second dwelling unit, there was some discussion and clarity issues currently where it was felt that perhaps it didn't permit two from a zoning standpoint. Now, why this is a little unusual is we have a planning act that actually contradicts that and essentially says that municipalities can't pass bylaws that prohibit two dwelling units in the house or one in the house and one in a detached accessory building. We have not run into a situation up until today where we had any requests for other than an accessory dwelling unit in the dwelling. And actually, in most cases, it's been detached structures where these have been proposed, so it hasn't presented a problem. In an abundance of caution and to provide clarity both for the applicant moving forward and also building services moving forward to make sure there wasn't going to be any building code issues or interpretational issues, the suggested course of action was to have the applicant apply for minor variance to grant relief from the section 4.22 that specifically speaks to second dwelling units, just to simply grant permission for that second unit. So we have gone through analysis on this particular property. It's a large corner lot at John and Mary Street in West Lorne. It's vacant right now, and what's being proposed is a dwelling that would have 3 units in it, essentially one main unit and 2 additional units. If you do look at the plans, each of the units are very similar in size, if not identical. However, the Act and our bylaw does not really specify that there has to be a clear main unit and then accessory secondary units. It just simply says a second dwelling unit. So we're working within the sort of the confines of the regulations on that today. I've assessed it under the variance provisions, the four tests. It does pass each of those. All the other provisions of the bylaw are being met. They are not requesting any relief from front, rear, or side yards, or lot coverage, or height exemptions. They are working within the confines of the current zoning, which is R1, and they've provided elevations for the property. They are able to accommodate parking on the site, and have been working with staff to acquire an access permit to provide a driveway that would come off of Mary Street, along with the servicing would come off of there as well. I do suspect that there may be a member of the audience in attendance on this particular one, and I just want to apologize that there probably has been a bit of confusion. They did contact me originally about this pending project before any application was made. And I indicated that it was a permitted use. There would be no zoning or minor variance applications. Obviously, that changed. It has come forward, it has been circulated to the neighbors for their input. So again, every once in a while, one slips past the goalie, and this was one where there was a bit of an interpretational difference that we had to deal with. So unless there's questions from council or questions from members of the public, that is all I have, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. Written comments. Any written comments received?
None received at the municipal office.
Committee comments. Seeing none. Public comment. Could you get to the podium, please, and state your name? Put the mic on.
So I'm Jesse Poppy. I'm the son of the owner, the neighbor. Not really concerned with buildings going up, concerned about watershed, concerned about public parking, especially with the Legion down the road. It's always full. So it's of saying it's 3 units. So five spots. If you put 2 people in each spot, that's 6 cars generally. If you're talking 2 adults, we're worried about privacy. We're worried about, like I said, watershed, height of the building. Like, is my mom going to stare at somebody's, 2-story back wall for the rest of her retirement? It's a small lot. It's not a large lot, right? It's a corner lot with the easements off the roads and stuff like that. It is quite small. The reason I know this is I'm a contractor, and I looked into purchasing it for a single family home, and it just wasn't feasible. Is it rental properties? What kind of people are we going to be living next door to, right? We've already dealt with one gentleman in the area with parties and drugs and everything, and I don't want my mom going through that. So we're just concerned about, what kind of people we're going to attract to a single family neighborhood is what we're looking at. So that's all we got so far. If anything else comes up, I'll email the municipality, but hopefully some of these questions could be answered. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Now, where do we go from here? Robert, would you have a further comment?
Certainly, I could add to possibly answer some of the neighbors' questions. From an ownership standpoint, it will likely be rental. That's not something that we have a great deal of input into. With secondary dwelling units, initially, I think the intent of the province on this was something that was owner occupied, and then perhaps a couple of spaces were rented out. That certainly can be an option here. So somebody could purchase this, live in one unit, and rent out the other 2. In terms of the orientation, I don't disagree with them. Corner lots do present a bit of a challenge in terms of orientation of dwellings. Your neighbor's going to look at your side, or potentially in this case, your back, depending on which way they orient the orient the building. We don't have any specific provisions in our bylaw that force somebody to face the dwelling towards the narrow side or the wide side of the lot. So that is, I guess, kind of an unintended consequence of corner lots.
You can't do that.
Um, as far as drainage is concerned, there
Grant,
will be a
I'll
grading
grant that
plan
right
that's
now.
provided to building
We've
services
looked at his
that
drawings.
will have to be reviewed. There is a drain outlet on the property now, and they will have to work around that and collect and direct water from that lot to an outlet that's dedicated for that purpose. They can't shed water onto the neighbor. If that does occur, that's a building code violation. But yeah, building services has been looking at this to date, and that will be something that they'll be quite mindful of moving forward uh, once when and if the permits are issued.
Thank you, Robert. Through the chair, I noticed that there was no comment on the parking, and I feel like it makes sense what the neighbors brought forward. If we have 6 vehicles being parked at a corner lot, I mean, I worry that there's not enough room. So is that part of the plan? Is that something that's been discussed, or is that to be determined by the builder?
Through you, Mr. Chair, no, that has been reviewed. They actually provided on the plan space 4-5, which actually meets the minimum requirement. It would be 2 for the main dwelling and then 1 for each of the secondary dwelling units is the current standard. So they're actually providing 1 additional space on the property. The hope, I think, with these units is that this may be a couple or a single person. I can't obviously guarantee this, but I don't anticipate seeing 6 vehicles here. These are going to be smaller units. They're not necessarily geared towards families. Not to say a young family with 1 child might not uh, uh, certainly take occupancy in one of these units, but they have actually provided more parking, 1 more parking space than what the bylaw requires for this use.
Thanks, Robert. So if I understand correctly, there's parking in the plan for 5 vehicles for 3
Correct.
units. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thanks, Robert. So just to the folks that are here, that are the neighbors, with recent McLeod Court being built, during the construction process, obviously there was some concerns from the neighbors, and we had the opportunity to speak with them and then speak with the developer in conjunction with our planner just to address any ongoing construction concerns. So, as this project continues, please know that there would be those opportunities as well to keep an open channel of communication if there is issues with that are impacting the neighbors during the construction phase. I'm here to help and help mitigate any concerns there might be.
Further questions? So I'll put it to the vote.
The recommendation is that West Elgin Committee of Adjustment hereby receives the report from Robert Brown, planner, regarding minor variance application D13, 2025, recommendation report, planning report 2025-09, and that West Elgin Committee of Adjustment grant minor variance D13, 1-2025 to obtain relief from section 4.22 to permit a total of 2 second dwelling units within a permitted single detached dwelling, subject to compliance with all other requirements of the West Elgin zoning bylaw.
Thank you. Then I'm looking for a mover. Councillor Denning. Seconded. Councillor Statham. All in favour? It's carried. which brings us to 7, which is adjournment.
That West Elgin Committee of Adjustment hereby closes this public meeting held pursuant to the Planning Act at 4:00 PM.
Mover, please. Deputy Mayor Tellier, seconded. Councillor Statham, all in favour? It's carried. Thank you.